Did your parents not talk to you about college really growing up? They were like, own a business?
No, there was still, I would say, mild pressure. I did a 2-year degree. I also had kids really young, so my son was born when I was 20. So I finished the degree like right when he was being born, and then that's when I was continuing to work at the chiropractor's office. And I thought, college just isn't for me. I don't have a path that I want to be an attorney or a doctor or a teacher that needs a degree, and so I thought, this is kind of a waste of time. But, you know, I'm born in the 80s, so I think every kid, college was the path.
Yes. I'm so excited to introduce today's guest, Emily Countryman. She's the CEO and founder of Shift Set Go, which is a nationwide chain of weight loss clinics that helps clients transform their lives both in person and virtually. Emily's team has helped people lose nearly, holy moly, 200,000 pounds with their 3-stage program. On top of that, she founded the Nutrition Education Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to ending the obesity pandemic through education. Emily is all about reshaping not just bodies, but also lifestyles and mindsets, and I can't wait for all of you to hear this episode. Let's dive in. Hello, Emily.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me in your state.
Yes, welcome.
I'm in Seattle, Washington. And tell us how you even got into like a weight loss business.
Well, since I was a child, I knew I would have a business. I didn't know exactly what it looked like. I thought it might be like a fashion boutique, but that's definitely not really my wheelhouse anymore. I love fashion, but I would not be a good designer or boutique owner. So when I was in my early 20s, for about a decade, I ran a chiropractic office.
Okay.
And I had heard of this other weight loss program in another chiropractor's office. And I thought, oh, this is just for, you know, this niche. We need to do this. And the doctor said, we hate that idea. And I said, okay, let me do it here. Let me see what I can do. And at that point, I was 25, I think. And I had already had little businesses here and there. So since I did their billing, I had a little billing company. I had, since a child, like I knew I would be an entrepreneur. So they hated it. I said, let me do it. And I did it. And then that was 2011. And it just kept going and going. I moved it out of there beginning of 2013 after I had had my youngest at the end of 2012. And the rest is history. Here we are.
So what made you want to be a business owner as a kid? Did you have entrepreneurial parents?
My entire family.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So my mom and dad, they each have 2 siblings. Literally everyone's an entrepreneur.
Wow.
I know.
All
Isn't that
6.
bizarre? Yep. My mom and dad took over my grandpa's business that he started. So they've since sold it, but that's just how I grew up. Mm-hmm. I just thought that's what you do. And I'm naturally bossy. So I'm the older child. I'm a Leo. Like I knew that this was my destiny to do something. I just didn't exactly know what it would look like. And I knew I didn't want to do their business. It's sheet metal. It was not exciting to me.
I don't know about that industry.
Hence the flip side, fashion. I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. So I knew I wanted to do something, and I'm a visionary. So I was constantly thinking of new ideas. You know, why isn't someone doing this or that? And because they didn't think of it. So I knew that would be the path.
So then did your parents not talk to you about college really growing up? They were like, own a business?
No, there was still, I would say, mild pressure. I did a 2-year degree. I also had kids really young. So my son was born when I was 20. So I finished the degree like right when he was being born. And then that's when I was continuing to work at the chiropractor's office. And I thought, college just isn't for me. I don't have a path that I want to be an attorney or a doctor or a teacher that needs a degree. And so I thought, this is kind of a waste of time. But, you know, I'm born in the 80s. So I think every kid, college was the path.
Yes.
But now, like with my kids, my son actually goes to UW right down the road from here. But my girls, I'm like, if you don't want to go to college, don't. Like, let's start a business.
I think that's going to be like the new age thing, especially because college is so dang expensive now.
It's already shifting. So when he did a program at school where you get your 2-year college degree during high school, maybe because of the pandemic, but I also think it's because of parents like us saying, hey, don't go if you don't want to. Why would I go spend $100,000 for you to get this piece of paper to change your mind and do something else? There's now in Washington, everywhere except UW where he goes, guaranteed admittance for every high schooler.
Wow.
Meaning, please come. Please. To me, that reads, please.
But also like then no incentive to like get good grades.
No, not at all. They didn't even want SAT scores.
I did hear that during COVID. They didn't do SAT scores. And I'm like, that consumed an entire year of my life growing up. Like,
I actually had to call
fair.
the counselor because I'm like, are you sure? My son's telling me this, and that's he's wrong. They're like, no. I go, well, why would someone take him? And she goes, I don't know. Like, wow, really incentivizing them. But
so, fun fact, actually, my dream school was UW.
really,
Yeah. I used to live on Whidbey Island, and I really wanted to like be in UW's volleyball program and go there. But then I lived here for a summer, and I was like, I just gave up California sunshine for that, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm moving back. So I ended up going to Cal Poly. But so you started the weight loss program at the Chiro office, and then was it like, okay, I need this to be my own because I'm making so much money, or they're like, this is colliding too much with the Chiro business? How did like the breakup happen?
It wasn't great. It was me coming back from maternity leave, and I think them realizing how successful it was and could be from there. And so I said, you know what, let's make a clean break, and I will move this out onto my own. I moved into an office across the freeway from that was literally 140 square feet. And I said, I'll just do this by myself. And I think they went, oh, dang it. But it was time. I'd been there for a decade, time to move on. And then from there, I knew that wasn't the end point. So I became a rep for that particular company of the food product that we were doing. And then I opened a couple more locations. That location I had in the tiny, I call it the shoebox office, moved it into more of a retail. Now we're in the suburbs at a retail strip. You'd see Starbucks, AT&T, Shift Set Go, etc. And so it wasn't until 2019 that's when I thought, I don't really want to align myself with this other company anymore, and I see a lot of things we could do differently with it, and that's when it became Shift Set Go. So now it's 100% that is owned by us. We've split ways with that other company of the program that we used to offer and took it from there. So now we have wholesale, we have our retail locations, we have virtual, so it just kind of became its own thing.
And now it's like your created program. Amazing.
Yeah.
So what does the marketing look like for a company like that?
So a lot of it is referral. So I look at my business under kind of two sides. We have the wholesale side and the retail side. So with our retail locations, we do have some Facebook, Instagram marketing that happens. We also offer red light therapy at our locations. And so the ads run for that. Yes, same. I have one at home.
Me too.
Because that's such an easy yes to get from someone. To put a Facebook ad out and say, hey, commit for 6 months to this weight loss program. Not everyone's jumping on board with that. But if they can jump on board to a 1-session red light, then they physically come into our office and they go, oh, this is like the real deal. It's not some fly-by-night fad diet. I'm physically going somewhere. I'm meeting this coach. This is really great. So if weight loss was of interest to them, then it's a much easier path to say, oh, and by the way, since you're here, we also offer this. But even in the retail side, we do, I believe last year it was probably around 60 to 70% referral. Huge referral, because it works and you see that person. So there are walking billboards.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you look so great.
Yeah,
And then they tell you about it. And they're like, well, I have to go too.
Yes.
So your red light is like your funnel, because they come in and get to do like a low ticket, or no, is it free?
They pay for a session. We call it a trial session. And we have it set up really great with our marketing company that we pay for the ad spend. We pay no management fee, and they keep that fee that the client pays. So they come in and it feels like we're doing a free session, because we are. The client doesn't know that though, but we have a good ROI on that, and they're buying a package of more sessions. They're maybe buying some of our supplements. We have collagen, we have thermo type drinks, help with fat burn. We have a product called Daily Trim, so it helps with their GLP-1 production, which is the buzzword.
That was my next question, is like, how has the whole GLP-1 thing affected your business?
It's affected it for sure. Yeah, I can't pretend like, oh no, we didn't even notice. It's definitely people, oh, I'm going to try this for a while. Yeah. So we have always been about education. It is a coaching business that we have. So we say, hey, that's totally fine. At the beginning of this year, we have multiple weight loss programs. So maybe someone's exercising a lot, they're on our Shift Fit program. Maybe they're a new mom and breastfeeding, they're on our Shift Mamas program. So it's a little different depending on their needs and goals. So we launched Shift Assist at the beginning of this year to assist them if they're doing any GLP-1s, because there is a way to do it very wrong. And so that's what we want to help them with, and say, if you want to make that choice and do them, by all means do it. We're not encouraging it, and you would lose as much weight doing our regular program as you would on a medication. But if you're going to do it, can we at least help you do it right, so that you're not spinning your wheels and by the time you've lost
gain
your
it all
weight,
back.
you're going to gain it all back. And not to get too deep into it, but basically when they're doing it, they're losing, based on studies, 40% lean mass. So their body fat percent is not really improving. So if they lost 50 pounds, a lot of it was lean mass. And then when they gain weight again, because the studies also show that you will gain once you go off these medications, the companies have said, we want you on them forever. They've literally said that.
Oh,
it's
wow.
no secret. So let's say you did say, I need to go off this. You will only gain fat. So now your body fat percent is worse than when you started. So you've actually dug yourself a deeper hole. And that's what people always come to us and say, I just feel like my metabolism's broken. It is, but we can fix it. It's okay. But you broke it. So let's fix it.
It's funny that you mentioned the body fat percentage, because we were just talking today. We were talking about DEXA scans, and I was like, yeah, a couple of years ago I lost weight, but I was doing DEXA scans along the way to like see if my body fat percentage was going down. And I went back on a scan and I had lost 20 pounds, but my body fat percentage was the same. And I was like, what is happening? And so then like the nutritionist was like, you have to eat more protein while you're also losing weight, or your body fat percentage will be the same. And I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of that. It makes sense, but...
And most don't, because we think of the old school calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Right? So you just, if you eat what you had last night when you weren't on a diet, and today you're on a diet, so you just halved everything, then you're just going to still lose muscle and fat. So you actually have to change the quality of things, not just the quantity of it, to actually lose fat and preserve muscle. So there's a very easy way to do it, but it does take a little bit of planning and making sure that you're going for that goal. Otherwise, it exactly what you said happens any typical diet. That's what'll happen.
Yeah. What's your goal to stay healthy and fit?
Usually what I tell everyone, I was actually just talking about this, is the easiest tips for people is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. No one likes to hear that. You're like, oh,
I do
man.
that. I will say I do that.
Okay. And any caffeine you have, replace it with water. So have as much as you'd like, but...
I can still have it.
Yes. But,
okay.
But that doesn't count towards that half your body weight. So let's just say someone's 200 pounds. That's 100 ounces of water, but they also had 24 ounces of caffeine, a couple cups of coffee. Now they need 124 a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just means more.
Okay, so lots of water.
Yeah. And then my second best tip is to cut out any refined sugar wherever you can.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah. Well, almost everyone's addicted to sugar.
Yeah. No, I'm for sure addicted to sugar. Like, yeah. But those are great tips. How have you like leveraged yourself out of having to be in the retail stores? Because I'm sure you were at them a lot in the very beginning. So tips and tricks on just how to utilize your time better.
Yeah, it was definitely step by step. So I started, with the one location, and then I think it was 2016 that we got the second location. And it was actually an acquisition of somebody that had a weight loss clinic and said, hey, they said, I like coaching. I don't like owning a business. And I said, oh, me, but opposite. So I said, let's bring you under, because I was really good at the operations of things and running the business. And so that worked easy because they could continue coaching. But that was when I said, I can't be in two places at once. So I'm going to need really good coaches in here. Otherwise, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So really mastering it with two to make sure that I could do the ownership of things, work on the business, not in the business. Well, those two went before we added location 3, 4. We have 5 locations now. And now it's just because I have a really good team. Because now we have the whole warehouse component of it for all of our wholesale. I know nothing about the warehouse. Nothing. Great. I went there the other day and I said, what's this thing? And you don't need to worry about that. Something for the truck. And when it backs up, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing about owning or having locations? Because a lot of our listeners probably have online businesses, but maybe, could dabble in a brick and mortar. But tell us like the bad side of it.
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overhead. If you're not open, you're not making money. So, of course, we do have our e-commerce business, but if a client wanted to go to a specific location and they went and you're not open, well, you just missed out on a sale. So we're open about 4 to 6 days at any of our locations, depending on where they are and who staffs it. You're at the mercy of that city. So whatever could be happening there, if it's maybe not a safe area, so picking your location is really important. Ours are pretty good, but we've had break-ins, we've been robbed, things like that, which isn't usually going to happen on an online business, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe get a chargeback or something. But I think there's pros and cons to both, right? Everyone thinks the grass is always greener
Right.
until you get there.
I know. What do you like to talk with your kids about in terms of health and wellness?
So we just did this little family competition in December. I never want to make it about weight loss or diet. I know the word diet can be, a negative 4-letter word. To me, it just means what are you consuming in your day? I'm on a keto diet. I'm on a paleo diet. It doesn't have to be a bad word, but we did a habit challenge because I just want them in the habit of drinking their water, taking their vitamins. For December, it was not eating any extra sugar. And so they knew, okay, on Christmas, I'm probably going to have
great for
cake.
Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly. And then they were able to make a more conscious decision and not just mindlessly eat, because kids are addicted to sugar too. I mean, I am too. I'm not saying that, everyone else is, it's really, really hard. It's everywhere, and it's in almost everything other than Whole Foods. So we did that as a contest. My daughter actually won. She beat me.
Oh, did she win anything?
Yeah. So whoever won got a yes day.
Oh,
And so luckily,
has she had her yes day?
Yes, we did it that following weekend. So the first weekend of January, and it was get nails done. I'm like, I can get
Cute.
down with
Yeah.
that. It was go out to dinner. They got froyo, go shopping, which my girls love, like a good Ulta Sephora
So
situation.
both the girls got like,
Oh yeah,
the
just because
perks, not
one,
just one.
yeah, and me too. We were all just dreading. We're like, okay, hopefully my husband doesn't win, but.
I know another like big trend. So like GLP-1s are big, but also I'm hearing so much on like perimenopause, menopause women, and I'm sure you're helping and coaching those women as well.
Yeah.
Is there something in those programs or like what can help them feel better?
That's basically our target demographic. So we call our client the 50-50. Last I checked, we were 81% female client base, and the 50-50 means she's about 50 with about 50 pounds to lose. And she usually says, since I hit menopause, or, that's usually part of the conversation. That happens to be most of my team too. A lot of my coaches are former clients. So the way our program is structured, because it's helping so much with the hormones, they're able to rein in their blood sugar, their insulin is performing properly. And so they're seeing improvements within the first week or two that are happening in the body, along with the weight loss, of course, but they're losing weight every week. So they're like, oh my gosh, this is actually working. And it's because a series of things, including the hormones. Like that's huge. So
a lot of my coaching clients, I can tell you, are very, very stressed out all the time as business owners. And so they're like, cortisol is probably shot.
Yeah.
Do you have any wellness tip for the busy entrepreneurs?
Yeah, it's probably something they've heard 100 times, try and meditate or yoga.
Well, like
but
besides that, I don't know. Is there like a supplement we can all take? Is there a magic pill?
There are some that do help with cortisol. It's going to be so much more than that though, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you, only had poor food to eat and you said, okay, at least eat this rotten apple or something. Okay, it's a fruit rather than a processed food or something, but it would have to be, as cliche as it sounds, a conscious lifestyle choice. Otherwise, it's not going to go away. And I'm sure you've heard the story 100 times of the entrepreneur who worked so hard they wound up in the ER. I feel like I hear that story all the time. And so hearing that, maybe that's something that helps kind of wake them up, or they see someone close to them. Maybe an easy tip would be go get everything checked. Go do your blood work, set an annual date to see it. And if you see 2024 to 2025, oh, look at my A1C, which is kind of a metric of the blood sugar, which is going to be directly related to the insulin and cortisol. Then, whatever number you pick, or if any of them are in the red, maybe now it's time to really take it a little more seriously. So I think it would just depend on the type of person. But it's something I just have to consciously put into every day. Yeah, otherwise I'd be a basket case.
Same. I have a lot of like wellness products. For that exact reason. And my workout of choice right now is hot yoga for that reason
yoga,
as well. But now that you've been in business for a while, what are some of your goals?
This year I always pick a word of the year. It's energy. If you were asking, how can I not have to be in the clinics all the time? And I think I kind of swung the pendulum too far. And we just had a lot going on last year, a lot of challenges in the business. We had to work on a lot of new food items, a lot of product development that I didn't think I would be doing until the new year came and a couple changes happened that were out of our control. And it was, oh my gosh, this is apparently my job. And it was just really time consuming, expensive. And so now I want to get back in the clinics more and just kind of get that energy going. Because when the coaches are there doing an awesome job. I have a fantastic general manager, but I like to kind of get in there a little bit too,
Yeah.
And get back to that.
Do you have any like personal goals or a dream trip?
I would love to take our family to Europe. So my son's in college and he's doing supercomputing.
Oh.
That's as much as I can tell you because the rest
I
went in
don't
one
know.
ear and out the other.
I know coding. I know that word, but I don't know what a supercomputer
No, it's very confusing. He texted me something the other day and I said, what does that mean? He goes, oh, that's how you say the supercomputing. So it's even beyond that. I said, oh, like I knew that. But he's looking for different internships. And he goes, oh, this one is in, I think it was in Sweden. I was like, oh. I was like, apply to that. Let's see,
Cool.
because then we just would have to come with you.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
that would be fun with the kids to do for sure.
Well, where can our listeners find you?
So I have my own Instagram. I don't do a lot on it, but it's just my name, Emily Countryman. But Shift Set Go is on every social, and it's just at Shift Set Go, SHIFT Set Go. I had to clarify that.
I know. I actually almost said shit when I said the name of your company.
I'll tell you, it's hard to trademark a name and get the URL. So we had to pick something that made sense, had the URL, got the trademark.
I hear you. Well, good for you for having the trademark.
Oh, yes.
And thanks for being in person here.
Yeah.
And we've loved having you as a client.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever done an in-person podcast, so this is awesome. They've all been phone back in the day and then Zoom.
I know. I just got like zoomed out.
Yeah.
I think as everyone did during COVID. And so we wanted like a video podcast.
Yeah.
And it's always better in person.
So much better.
Yeah. And I had one of my guests is a speaking coach, and I asked him, and I was like, the in-person podcasts seem so much better. Can you tell me why? Like, you're a professional speaker, like you read energies in the room. And he was like, it's because you're within 6 feet of each other. Oh. And so like you're feeding off of each other's energy. So the conversations like flow better.
So. I've always preferred, like at our business, we have in-person coaching and virtual. And virtual, they're looking at each other on Zoom. And it is what it is. And we have phenomenal coaches for that. And you just can't make it in person if you live in Florida and they live in Texas.
Right.
But when COVID was sort of ending, and people came back to us immediately because they were like craving that in person. And it really makes a big difference just being there with that person.
I really think 2025 is like the year of in-person events.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can run into each other at another event.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for being on.
Yeah, thank you.